What's up, guys, and welcome to the 37th inaugural episode of the Sonic Movie Show, the only show that's about Sonic news, and the occasional Sonic movie news, and mostly, as of recently, the occasional AMC news. My name is Ethan. With me here is Devin.
Sorry, hold up. I have a quote. I'm trying to find a quote. You know what? No quote this week. Sorry, folks.
Damn.
Here's a quote.
You literally just Google Sonic quotes. You can't find one?
Danny Masterson charged with raping 3 women. There's your quote for the
Damn.
week. All right.
Damn. I mean, it's actually serious times in the world right now, so I guess a serious quote.
I can't watch that
needed.
70s show ever again.
There's a lot of things you can't watch. You can't watch anything T.J. Miller has ever done because he's a creep. Lots of things. Lots of good things.
I remember I was going to watch
House
of Cards,
people.
and then all that came out, and then it was like, I don't want to watch this show.
I never finished it. It was good, and then I stopped. And then about the time I was like, I should finish House of Cards. The Kevin Spacey shit came out. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm not.
And then he did that.
And then they tried bringing it back with
that weird apology video.
Did he do it or did they do it? Which one?
I'm pretty sure he was in a video where he was trying to say yeah, I messed up, and it's like, well,
yeah,
too late now. You should have admitted that when you did it. That's
And
usually
also,
the best way to apologize and actually it being meaningful.
You also shouldn't do the "while I'm gay" defense when what you're actually being accused of is pedophilia. Because that's that's a gigantic stereotype in bigoted cultures is to always present gay men as pedophiles
where that
or
comes
as creeps.
from, right? I actually found this out recently. The Bible talks about how being a pedo is bad, which I think we all can agree with is bad.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until newer translations that they changed the word pedophile to homosexual. And that's why homosexuality is a sin. It actually wasn't in the Bible before. It never actually mentioned same-sex relationships.
Well, and if you also
supposedly
believe in all that stuff, I'm sure you are well aware that these books are written by people that weren't Jesus. And weren't, these were people that wrote about that stuff. And so you can take what a human being's interpretations of things and they write it down. Do we take things literally, like word to word? Do we take things figuratively? Only when it benefits us, apparently.
I never really read the Bible from front to back. But
I did I think in middle school.
Did you?
But I think it might not have been all of it. But
I mean,
it's one of those things where it's on my bucket list. Yeah, it's up there with the Da Vinci Code on my bucket list of things to read. I don't know what that says about me. Probably not good things, but maybe that's why I shouldn't be able to pass judgment on people. Anyway, speaking about passing judgment, we're here today to talk about AMC's newly announced. Well, as of today of recording, it's like an hour ago. As of the time you hear this, probably 3 or 4 days ago, AMC is officially opening back up on June 17th for, I think,
July.
Less than 100 of their stores will
June
remain
or July?
closed.
'Cause I see July 15th.
July. It's July.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? The first real movies come out on the 17th. It's July 15th. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Almost all of their stores will be open. About 100 will not be. I forget what the numbers were. I think it might be 350 out of 450. Maybe it's 450 out of 550.
Variety
something
says,
like that.
Variety says 450.
Okay.
Will resume operations.
Yeah. So a good amount of them. And they're going to be, I guess, stepping through the motions of slowly trying to get back to normal. What do we think about this?
Well, I like how this, this is the third episode we've done on just AMC, because we did mention before that, Cinemark is reopening, and Regal, and AMC was the last, it seemed, for other big ones. I'm sure there's smaller companies that we don't know of that are having their reopening plans released. But we were keeping a good eye on AMC because our theater is an AMC theater, and so it does affect our show in a way.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I had a whole bit planned this year that involved literally seeing movies in the theater, and I haven't been able to act on it since the Sonic movie.
That sucks. I was going to say that we see here that they're going to do 30% less capacity. My only big problem with this is that they said they're not going to require face masks.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a... stupid statement too. The way what's his name? The CEO. What was his name?
I'm trying to find
Aaron.
Adam Aaron. Adam Aaron. Aron is his last name. I don't know how you pronounce it. Aaron.
Aaron. I guess Aaron then, because Aaron has 2 A's. Yeah, like the way he said, "Oh, we don't want to like get into a political statement." Like, why is this a political statement? Because
I mean, this is America.
Don't want to wear
America.
masks.
I mean, this goes back to. I mean, I don't know how. I don't think we've talked about much on the show, but I know we've talked off air how like there's just America in general just has a lack of belief in just science compared to other countries, and it doesn't help when you have a president and a party in charge that also doesn't tend to believe in science unless they're
because it usually doesn't benefit them.
Yeah, unless it benefits them. So I mean, I feel like they're just trying to because we gotta remember AMC is losing a shit ton of money right now, and they probably won't even.
They're effectively making nothing.
They're going to lose money this year, guaranteed. Even if like everyone storms the theaters the next 6 months here, to me, this is still stupid. But I guess they're just trying to like not make it like not say like you can come in. They want people to come in. You know what I mean? So they don't want to say you can't come in here if you don't believe in this, which I still think is wrong. By the way, I don't agree with this decision, but I also get the business side of it. Where you're trying to because maybe other theaters are saying you got to bring a mask in. They're like, you know what, fuck it. You could come
here. I guarantee this is the real reason why they didn't say you need to wear a mask. Because if we need to wear masks in AMC, if it's a requirement, what does that mean? It means that there is a uncertainty of whether or not you can take it off and eat popcorn and drink. Because you're technically supposed to have the mask on. They don't want that uncertainty with their customers because, quite frankly, they make more money off concessions than the actual ticket sales. So they want people to always buy the popcorn. They don't want someone being like, maybe I won't get popcorn because I don't want someone to look at me and judge me for taking my mask down.
But at the same time,
has to be it. They don't want to say that,
They also said they're reducing their menu to make it more safe, and they're doing more
no
safety.
large popcorn.
So I'm like, how can it be a political issue, but then also being like, we care about your safety? There can't be an in-between. Like, you can't half care. I don't know.
Yeah,
like, it's just a terrible statement. Very disappointing. Like, at least say, like, while we recommend you wearing a mask for the safety of yourself and other customers, we're unable to enforce it or something. Even though that sucks, that's still a lot better than saying, oh, we won't require it because we don't want to be on a political side. If anything, you're actually leaning more to a conservative, anti-science side.
Right, to say to basically not take it seriously.
Yeah. Or like exactly. So it's kind of weird that they like half went to a safety, like with the reducing of the menu, the reducing of the seats, because I'm sure it's going to be like every other seat or something like that.
So the way they said it is that every other row is blocked off. Basically, it sounds also like you can't reserve seats, or at least they're not really.
In. Yeah.
Well, because they said if you feel like you shouldn't sit where you're sitting, feel free to move or ask someone for a refund if like you just don't want to sit anywhere in the theater at all. Like, so I think they're going to be more lenient of like. I mean, like, when we go to see movies in there, we're not going to sit next to each other. We're going to sit probably at least one space away, right?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I'll be honest right here, as I always am.
Because you never am.
Show. Yeah. I get, like, it's summer, it's June, and, like, we've been in the pandemic since March. I mean, if you're outside of the United States, maybe longer. But
probably longer.
And safer. And I get, like, there's a point in which it just gets too much and you just need to go outside. Trust me, my mental health has been hot garbage every month we go in further than this. And I'll be honest, like, I've gone out more, but I still wear a mask and, like, try to be decent to other people. Like, if we go to Target, like, I'm not going to touch anything I don't need to. Like, if I need to grab milk, I'll grab milk. But, like, I'm not going to open the door. Do I want a Hot Pocket too? I don't do any of that.
Yeah, like, you do.
Like, I have my hands in my pocket. And, like, unless I need to grab it, I ain't touching it. But at the same time, too, I've also went to a park this past weekend. There was a lot of people there. And, like, I had my mask on. And, we were close to one another, though. So it's like... And I've been involved in Black Lives Matter protests. And that definitely was, not 100% safe. It was super crowded. I went to the one in D.C. And I don't think I've seen that many people on one street before in my life. So, I mean, I get it. Like, there's is that part of me where it's like, dude, I just want to get out and do something or see another human being. I totally get it. But at the same time, I don't know if I would want to still go to a movie theater. And I love movies.
That was going to be my question. Are we going to go? My thinking is I actually do want to go. If I have a mask on, if I make sure I'm away from people.
Like, I want to see people's reactions, first.
We have an audience, too, that they deserve to know the truth.
Put our lives on the line.
What's the AMC experience? Yeah, exactly.
Shit. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in going because, like I said, I've already, in a way, risked my life, I guess, going to a park and stuff like that just to get out and do something. I'm also booked a flight, and I'm like, granted, it's in Montana, everybody, so don't kill me. For Green Hills, Montana, where there's no human beings. So, like, if it was anywhere else, I probably wouldn't take a flight. I'm still nervous about the flight myself. I'm like, should I have done this? I don't know. At the same time, like, what movies are coming out that I'm like, I need to see this in theaters? I mean,
I'm looking at that list right now. Tenet is at the end of the month. Mulan is on July 23rd. There's a movie that looks kind of interesting called Unhinged. That's, I think, will be there when it opens. Other than that, I'm not really seeing much of anything that is interesting.
I can watch Tenet in Fortnite, though.
You can watch this trailer, yeah.
Still such a weird marketing idea.
I mean, hey, they're making a lot of money that way.
I don't know. I don't know, granted, I haven't done it myself. I don't even have Fortnite installed on my computer, but I haven't gone to Fortnite and was like, I'm gonna go watch a trailer that I can watch on YouTube. I don't know.
I want to watch something when theaters open. I want to, you know what? I want to see what's there day one, because it seems like some of the movies aren't coming out until a couple days after. I think one of the big movies comes out on the 17th.
Maybe the reopening.
Theaters open up on the 15th.
Employees like a chance to like clean up, because it's not like anyone's probably going in there and cleaning it up every day.
I'm sure the day before they open, they're gonna do a big detox on it all.
Are all those people even hired still? Are they gonna have to rehire people?
That's a damn good question. I'm sure a lot of people got furloughed, which sucks. I'm sure a lot more people also got let go, which double sucks. We'll find out. I want to know what the experience is on that first day. So I'm going to try to go on the 15th.
I mean, if you're going to go, I might as well risk my life too. I'm like, I'd rather die together than like you die and then like the show, how will it carry on?
It's nothing.
I'd have to replace you.
I mean, if you die too, then the show's over.
No, I'm giving you right. I'm saying this right now. If I ever die, starting now, like, feel free to replace me. Keep the show going.
Hey, you didn't have the input. It's not your decision to make.
I'm just letting you know. I'm giving you permission if you want to continue the show.
I'm gonna get Steven Spielberg to be Steven Spielberg, and Vin Diesel are gonna be the co-hosts on this show.
Honestly, I'll be the martyr for that. I'll if that's what gives.
I might need to be the martyr too. I mean, let's both die.
We just both kill ourselves just so Vin Diesel and Steven Spielberg can continue the Sonic movie.
We can do it like Romeo and Juliet.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Which one? The 1970s one there, or the one with?
Was it in the Saving Private Ryan episode where I accidentally said it took place in the 90s, and then we joked about the Romeo and Juliet 90s modern day reboot, and then doing that with World War II?
Yes.
There's a Charlize Theron movie that's on Netflix. Is that coming to theaters too? Because I'd watch that.
I guess the only one I'm interested in is Tenet, to be honest, out of all of this.
Yeah.
But yeah, are they going to show like movies? Like, can they show Bloodshot? Like, they're like, hey, we're just going to give them another extra 2 weeks. I'm going to be
honest to God pissed if Bloodshot's on there, just because I paid $20 for that movie. It's a movie that sits on one of the few things I've ever purchased on Amazon Prime Video. It's sitting there next to Spider-Man Enter the Spider-Verse. I think that's and Batman v Superman.
I think I have that in the first two John Wick movies and Evil Dead. Oh, and the newer one,
Chapter 1 or Chapter 2?
Chapter 1.
Never saw either of them.
You honestly could watch the second one. You basically watched the first one. I was so mad.
I watched the made-for-TV movie years ago.
I think I should have watched that instead, because I watched the first one like 2 weeks before the second one came out in theaters. And I watched it in theaters, and I'm like, I watched the same fucking movie. Paid how much money to buy? I bought it on Amazon because it was like a couple dollars more, and because it was on sale or whatever. I think for for the new movie. So I got it. I'm like, oh, and then like I thought it was all right. I'm like, okay, whatever. Maybe 2 will be better. No, it was the same fucking movie. So pissed. Bad.
Yeah, there's a weird juxtaposition between the quality of Stephen King's books and then like the way it's treated on film. Like, I don't think there's ever been a Stephen King movie that's been what he would like.
Well, it's like the kids come back, and it's just like them going through what they did in the first one. And I'm like, I just watched it. I get it. Like, it's probably different for people who watched it 2 years ago when the first one came out. But I'm like, I just watched it 3 weeks ago.
I think the book was 2.5 hours. Like that, too.
And it's the same plot. They have to fight him, of course.
Yeah.
It's not even scary.
Acid. He scared me as a kid.
I'm not scared
Tim
of
Curry. I mean, just the fact that he could turn into anything, and he's just Satan essentially. But no, it just reminded me. I learned this fact recently, maybe a few months ago. Stephen King wrote so many books that his publicist or publisher representative, whoever, main person there, told him that he needed to start writing under a pen name, a different name, because if he kept releasing too many books in 1 year, it would dilute his brand. So things like
Eat That, R.L. Stein.
The Running Man. That's a Stephen King book, but it was written quote unquote by someone else, and that became that Schwarzenegger movie.
Huh.
Like that's a Stephen King movie. The
Weird.
Running Man. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
But back on topic.
Hopefully that's going to be on AMC on July 15th.
Let's stay back on topic here.
I'm
do you
looking
think
at the releases.
Our pass is going to come back out?
Our what?
Our monthly AMC pass.
So I read that. So they're going to give A-list. It's not going to be automatic. You have the option to renew it if you want.
Okay.
Because they put everyone on pause essentially because hey, it's not fair to charge you when you can't use us. I don't think that there's any discounts. They said that there's going to be cool new things. I don't know what that means. Probably like how I was, maybe hypothesizing on a previous episode of the show recently that they're going to try to make it much bigger of a, you really want to have this, please. If everyone that comes to AMC theaters, we want them to be a subscriber because that's guaranteed money. As opposed to maybe seeing one movie a month, as opposed to getting that $25
Buy all
or
our
whatever,
popcorn.
right?
Buy one get one popcorn.
So I wouldn't be surprised if it is like literally it's a free small popcorn every single time, or something crazy like that, or maybe like 3 small popcorns a month.
I don't even want a popcorn. Give me a drink. I would love a small that's my thing now. I realize everyone's
I
like,
guess it depends on which one's more
movie.
expensive.
I'm like, I need that drink. I need that Coca-Cola or something.
See, here's my problem though, because I've done both. Like on their own, and it's never satisfying.
Really?
I need that Coke with the popcorn, and I need that popcorn with the Coke. I just can't. I've tried. I've really tried.
You need that pop.
I'm drinking
and you need
a Coke.
That popcorn.
Oh, they call their popcorn AMC's Perfectly Popcorn, and I think it's supposed to be like a play on like popped corn, but they still just call it popcorn.
I just rolled my eyes.
Yeah, It sounds like some...
what is this brand? I don't understand. They make great decisions, but also the weirdest and also dumb
I need to bring it
decisions.
up. Guess what they call their bars? Like the bar area in an AMC?
Is it some dumb pun?
I have no idea. It's named after someone. It's named like McGubbard or something stupid. I shit you not.
That's a whole other issue. Like I get like buying a drink to go in the theater, but like I like how at our theater it's like its own bar that like you could walk in, order a drink, and walk out, like go home. I just find that so weird. I don't know.
I had it down. Hold on.
I have a tweet here for us that is relevant. By our favorite Brian Altano, at Agent Bizzle. Because he's writing about AMC, and he writes, honestly, they could have done so much more to welcome logical, cautious people back into their business. Sell $12 themed masks for big movies, like a mask with the print of a hand covering your mouth for A Quiet Place 2. Reduce spread, make money, instead of they're doing this idiot shit.
Oh, yeah, they are selling masks for $1. I'm sure it's the disposable, like,
He's saying, though, like,
one-off
more,
ones.
Like...
Just how you get the giant
merch,
yeah.
Which I guess I don't know how much I agree with that. I mean, like, I guess it would promote safety, but like I'm more a fan of just $1 masks or something. Like if you forget, like they go in.
That's what it's
and
for.
They
If you
their
forget
masks,
a mask, you can buy for $1.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also funny too. Even recently on the news there was that asshole dude complained that he got kicked off of a flight because it's required to wear a mask, and like he was being a whiny little bitch about it. He apparently is a part of or started some movement where to get Democrats to walk away and be Trump supporters now, or whatever bullshit it is. And he's against masks completely, but his movement sells masks that say it on there. So it's like you're just being opportunistic. Like it's I don't know. It just reminded me of it. But yeah, no, they're selling masks for $1. I'm sure they're super cheap ones. Because most places, if you go to like a CVS or something, are going to sell a basic washable mask for $10, if not more.
At this point, I have like 3 masks and a bandana, and I ordered stuff from Rooster Teeth, and in each order, I got a free mask, which I thought was nice. I'm like, that's
interesting.
Cool. That's cool. They have like weird captions on it. Like one of them says, "Stay at home," and I'm like, I don't like this message because if I'm going to Target and wearing this, it says stay at home, and I'm like, but I'm not staying at home right now. And then the other one says technical difficulties, and I'm like, okay, that's funny, I guess. And I have a bandana as well, which out of all of them, the bandana, I get the most breathability. I used to have asthma as a kid, and recently, from doing sports and stuff, I realized it might be coming back. Like I might have like a sports asthma or something. And I'm like, there's been times when I come back from Target and I'm like out of breath almost. Not like terribly out of breath, but I'm like, I need to take this mask off just to get a good old full breath in.
No, yeah, I mean, I have a reusable mask, like a washable one. I have a few disposable ones, and then I also have an actual giant plastic face shield.
I remember I saw you in that. That was the last time I saw you.
Yeah, we were trading off video games,
not drugs.
Yeah, it's debatable on how well a face mask actually protects you, but at the very least, it definitely helps keep your own germs from spreading to other people. Yeah. The face shield, it does a worse job at doing that because it's just going straight down and probably billows out off your stupid fat stomach, or at least my stupid fat stomach, right? But like the breathability on it is as if I had nothing on. But that's why I like it. I will probably not wear that to AMC. I will wear my regular face mask because they look
shield mask.
That's what it looks like. It looks like a.
I'll wear a.
We could get even more political, but it looks even more pathetic. Dude, I see people wearing like fucking Transformers, Bumblebees, Halloween masks, and be like, "Oh, I have a mask on."
I do have my.
Congratulations, you're hiding your shame.
Mortal Kombat mask thing that I have that I got with when I got I pre-ordered Mortal Kombat at GameStop. The MK11.
But is that a plastic mask?
It's plastic like a cloth thing.
No, cloth is better than. Yeah, but in any case, when they open up, they're going to have seatings availability down to 30% of what it normally is. Then they're going to try to bump it up to 40, then bump it up to 50, and they expect by Thanksgiving that it'll all be 100% like normal. That's what they're expecting.
I don't think they're making it so that I get they don't want to hurt business, but I want everyone to know who's listening to this that this isn't over, and probably at the best case scenario, we get a vaccine by the end of next year. At like best case scenario,
that's like the fastest track. Like we would already need to be working on it now,
which I know they are, but like usually they have to go through like 1 or 2 years of clinical trials to make sure you don't get sick from it, or you actually do get the virus, or it mutates, all those other science stuff. But it's not like people can, like, you don't just come up with the cure in a day. You know what I mean?
You're like, well, some people think, if you just drink disinfectant, you're cured. So maybe they don't understand how it works at all.
I've been doing that for 3 days, Ethan. It's working out great.
Yeah. You don't sound alive. Yeah, so AMC is going to be slowly filling up its normal seating procedures. I know also that things like straws and napkins and apparently cup lids are going to be at request at the counter. I assume they just don't want them out so that hands keep touching them, you know? I get that, but like, I don't know. I'm sure when we go there, it's going to be like, you're getting a drink,
cups?
Here's a straw, here's a lid, Not necessarily, here's a cup, ask me if you want a straw, or ask me if you want a lid to this cup. I'm sure they're going to, but who knows? Shortly before all this went down, they changed, at least RMC, to like all monitors that you place your order at, and
they're all touchscreen.
The people there don't understand everything. Yeah, they're touchscreen.
Now what?
Am I gonna have to wear gloves?
I don't have gloves. I've been doing the no glove. I know it's risky, but like me, I feel like more times than not too. Like, what if my hands are already dirty? Then I put on the glove, and then I think I'm clean, or like I touch something with my glove, but then. Like when you grab your phone, like how often do we grab our phones? I'm like, if anything, our phones are probably more disgusting than our hands are.
Your phone is more disgusting than, and I am quoting this almost verbatim, than right now the inside of your underwear.
And let me tell you, I haven't showered in 2 days, and I stink.
Oh,
so
why?
Let me tell you, if my phone's dirtier than that, shit.
Yeah, no, because do you ever wash your phone?
I will get like I'll open the case up and like do that like maybe every couple of months. I'll be honest.
Same.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yeah, we just don't think about it, right? But yeah, they're going to be reducing the amount of surfaces that you come in contact with, so it's going to be interesting to see how they handle all that touchscreen stuff. I know they're not saying no to cash, but they are saying no. So like you can get your ticket with cash.
Yeah.
Because in a lot of places like the AMC that we saw Cats at, you can't really get in unless you have a ticket. Like it's kind of gated like that. So I feel like a lot of AMCs and a lot of theaters are like that, where you need to get a ticket in order to get in, which is crazy because I know people that definitely go into movie theaters, buy popcorn, and leave.
What?
And I think that yes, my mom is that kind of person. My mom, yes, 100%. She loves that popcorn. That actually sounded really mean. She that because it's in the mall in the Regal Theater in the mall back where we used to live. So, but yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of AMC theaters are like that. So you can pay in cash for your ticket. You can also buy an AMC gift card with cash at that same spot you get the ticket from, apparently, and then that's how they expect you to pay for drinks and stuff if you don't have debit, credit, phone paying. Like if you're only coming in with cash, that's how they want you to go about it, so that it's not handing money off. Especially, I don't even know if they're actually opening it, but they called out the bar is actually called McGuffins. I don't know if it's named after someone or stupid film term
AMC
for the
McGuffins.
Thing. Yeah,
founder.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that was his name.
McGuffins. That does sound like an old timey like movie theater owner name, Sir McGuffins or whatever.
McGuffin. Yeah.
Down here in New York City. Come on down.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting.
Come see our King Kong.
They made a giant. They made a giant monkey wash his hands. It's weird too, seeing that they're pledging to make their employees wash their hands for 20 seconds. I guarantee that it's less than.
We're holding them all at gunpoint and telling them if they don't wash their goddamn hands.
I know some places are like you wash your hands every 30 minutes, and like I appreciate that. It would suck if I would have to do that, but I appreciate it. Your hands just turn to stone after a while, I'm sure. But
your hands get dried out.
Yeah, they're doing that. What else did I hear? Did I read about? Oh yeah, they're also apparently teaming up with Clorox as their, I guess their
hashtag ad.
Hashtag ad. Well, it's funny because that thing we saw, because we learned about this through a push notification through the AMC app that told us about this today. But they have on their main image the Clorox logo is just sitting in the corner. I'm like, why? I'm sure that's their chemical provider for all of this stuff, all this extra stuff that they need to buy for all this, right? I'm sure. I don't know what parent company is Clorox, but whatever they are, I'm sure they're supplying all that stuff. They're adding extra time between showings to completely disinfect the entire theater, which is cool. So
that's a good point too. Like, how often are they gonna? Because
have showings.
I was saying because remember when we saw Sonic, we were sitting outside the theater. We were there a little early.
Yeah.
And like they went in there to clean for like maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah, because they sweep up all the trash that people were too lazy to bring out with them, and I think that's it. It's just the trash on the ground. And maybe if someone vomited, they'd see that, but yeah. So now they're going to have to essentially wipe down every seat. I wouldn't be surprised if they have to wipe down the seats that they have blocked off anyway, just because, you know, it's going to be interesting. Actually want to know. I'm disappointed that this is only the real news that we can have for you guys, but like when it gets closer and we start actually seeing, okay, you can now get tickets for a movie on July 15th. What's it look like? How many showings? Are all of their theaters, actual screens, going to be open? Like ours, how much did we think it had? Like maybe 14 screens?
Well, because
are they going to have
16,
14?
I think. Because remember, it was split between one in 8 on one side, then 8 through 16 on the other? It might be 12 or 18. I don't remember. But more than 10. Number. More than 10, for sure.
More than 10, yeah. And, you know, there's also an IMAX screen in there, and there's also a Dolby. Do they need to do something weird with the Dolby seats? Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, the IMAX seats,
subwoofer
at least
seats.
the one in our theater, are like the shittier, older seats. Like, you can't really... And they have like is it like cotton almost? Fabric, you know, like seating. I'm like, it's hard to clean. Like that, like you need like...
Yeah, at least their standard seats are all leather.
Like those are much easier to clean than...
They're also recliners, which means that these people have to actually recline them all just to get inside the cracks and stuff.
Fuck me, dude.
God, we could be literally looking at like 20 minutes to 30 minutes of in-between time extra.
I hope so. I'd rather have that. I will be questioning it if we go, and well, let's say if we do go, I say we go kind of early and wait out to see, and we can scope it out. Because we could be breaking news journalists. Think about that.
We could record a podcast sitting in one of the theaters watching them clean.
we can interview them afterwards. Like, so how deep did you clean?
Please leave.
Please leave.
Like,
who are you?
Please stop harassing me.
Who are you guys?
Yeah. we can turn into complete assholes.
We're like Washington Post. Washington Post.
Oh yeah, sure. New York Times.
Did you know that? By the way, that Clorox owns Burt's Bees?
I did not know that.
There you go. There's your fast fact for the evening.
How did you know this?
I'm on
Did you
Clorox,
Google Clorox?
Company's Wikipedia.
Oh, you want to find the parent company for them?
I think they are the parent company.
Interesting. I guess that would make sense.
Formerly known as Electro
because I know there's like
Company.
There's Procter and Gamble. There's S.E. Johnson. I figured Clorox was just the name of a product that was a part of a thing, but I guess if they're, you know.
Yeah, they were the Electro-Alkyne Company from 1913 to 1928, and they were the Clorox Chemical Company from 1928 to 1957. And now they're just the Clorox Company. They got rid of chemical, maybe that...
Because they probably sell chewables and shit.
You don't want to see Burt on your Burt Bees. This is chemical company.
I mean, do you want to see Clorox on your Burt's Bees? Do you? So in between these Clorox disinfecting sessions, there will be movies shown. We mentioned a couple of the big ones are Mulan and Tenet, but they're in the later half of the month. So some of the earlier screens that we'll be seeing will probably be random movies that might actually make it bigger than others. Or rather, they might be making it bigger than what they normally would have made if they released without COVID. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like, we contemplated.
How many people are actually going to want to show up the first couple of days? I don't know. Like, are we going to get the?
I can see no one. I can
see
everyone. If we're going day one, we'll find out.
I'm so
we
scared.
got a full month.
Man. I'm scared. What day is that? 17th?
15th.
15th? It's a Wednesday.
15th. Goddamn right. I'm taking it off. It's a big day for me.
We'll see.
Yeah, the 15th. And you know what? 2 days after that, Paper Mario comes out. Ghost of Tsushima comes out. All right? Gamers got a game. We need to watch movies before the gamers. All right? So yeah, I guess that's really all. That's it to the AMC stuff going on, right?
I know, like how this started from the AMC beef to when will AMC reopen? Now we know when they're reopening, and now we still really don't know too much of how it's going to really go down until we actually go.
Yeah. It's crazy. But I mean, who knows? They made this plan now. It's official today. Obviously, this is something they've been thinking about for a while. And been planning for a while. It wasn't a decision they made right this moment. But it's public as of today. I wonder how set in stone this is. It's just like how a lot of these movies like Tenet are delaying because they might not actually be ready for theaters to be open or vice versa. Will AMC be like, well, you know how we said 450? We actually mean 45. But next month,
because like Florida and Arizona are getting like hit again because people don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And honestly, like within anything can happen. We've learned in 2020 that anything can happen, and within a month, it's still 30 days from now, roughly. Like Corona could be coming back hard because you got to remember all those people who came out for Memorial Day, not wearing masks and stuff, and it usually takes 2 weeks for you to start actually showing symptoms. Yeah. So, and then with the protests as well, number of cases, people are going to probably get sick from that as well. So,
right, the number of cases too, the actual statistical number is also going to be delayed too because we only know about cases when they're reported. Yeah. Right. It's not just this magical all-seeing eye that says Devin's got corona. Let's report. Let's write it down. You need to go get tested. For that to happen. And sometimes you can go to your doctor or to an urgent care and be like, I have all these symptoms. They'll be like, oh, it's probably just the flu. That happened to an aunt of mine, or an uncle rather. He went to an urgent care because he got really sick after work. They said during all this. This was like maybe a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
Said he had the flu. He could have had corona. You know what I mean? But it wasn't reported because they didn't give him a test.
Yeah, I mean, I still, friend of ours, Ethan and I's friend, David, we've talked about it before on my streams and stuff, how, like, David thinks, and I kind of agree with him at this point, that there's going to come to a point, and I think we're starting to see it now, where people just are going to be like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, if I get it, I get it. And, like, I know it's super selfish to do, and I totally understand kind of where it's coming from, though. Cause
if there's a way to get it and not spread it, then okay.
But, yeah. So, like, I think people are getting to that point, and I think these companies know that, and our government knows that. People are getting antsy. So, like, that's why you're seeing these places reopen. It'd be totally different if, our government bailed out all these businesses. I mean, they bailed out, like, the higher-up people, but, like, they gave everyone money monthly, gave all these smaller businesses money, and everyone was bailed out.
It'd be nice if they cared.
It would have been completely different. I think we still would have been fine sitting at home, but people are antsy, people are out and about.
We were supposed to use all this time to prepare for reopening, to flatten the curve, and instead we're just opening back up unprepared completely just because some people are getting antsy that their millionaire and billionaire friends are going to be losing a lot of money.
I mean,
that's what sucks.
We joke, but like we were low-key cheering for AMC, which is $1 million company, and
yeah.
I mean, there's still that rumor that Amazon's going to buy them, and the more I hear it, the more I'm like, fuck, I think it might happen. I really do. Who's to stop them? You know what I mean? They have the money.
Amazon's allowed to own grocery stores. They're allowed to own,
They do have an Amazon Studios. They can, like, have Amazon movies that you watch at home, but you can also watch them at theaters. See? That's a whole other issue right there.
Yeah, I guarantee if Amazon were to buy AMC, which is the largest theater chain in the country, that's why it's always coming up in the news. Yes, Cinemark this and Regal that, they're all doing the same things, but AMC is the biggest, so when they say something, it carries more weight, so to speak, or at least it's more newsworthy to say the largest theater chain says they're screwed, If they're owned by Amazon, I guarantee the next Jack Ryan movie or whatever. Is that a movie on Amazon Prime?
Yeah, it's a show. Whatever. It still doesn't matter.
Well, whatever. The next Amazon Prime original movie, it's going to be shown in AMC's only. That's it. And fuck, they'll just rename the A and AMC to Amazon.
Amazon Movie Company.
Yeah, literally. Because I think it's what, American Movie Company?
I think so. I mean, actually, I really don't know. AMC theaters. Let's see. Or is it just did they just?
I'm sure the C is cinema.
I don't think it's broken down. I'm trying to look. Like I think it's legit just called American Multi-Cinema. There we go.
Okay, yeah. Amazon Multi-Cinema. Boom. Right then and there. Amazon, and then AMC or Stubbs A-List will just be Prime. If you have Prime, that's a fucking good deal, to be honest.
I mean,
if you're a Prime member, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I have the Amazon Prime credit card or whatever there, and I get 5% back. Imagine if you get 5% back on popcorn.
Yeah.
God damn it.
It sucks, liking something so awfully, or so obviously evil. But it's such a good benefit.
Did you know?
So yeah, if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime. And blah, 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 blah.
Hey, Twitch Prime. Now you can watch your favorite Twitch streamers at our theaters. Could you imagine?
I mean, screw it, right?
Could you imagine
if they own
watch Ninja on the big screen?
But I legit wouldn't be surprised if. So we have close to 500 AMCs around the country. Let's pretend we're owned by Amazon, right? Some of these are giant ones. I think the one that we go to is a big one, like a more of a primo spot. I guarantee that one will be open on the 15th. If only 100 aren't going to be, that one will be for sure. It'll be open. So I wouldn't be surprised, if they had been owned, if they're owned by Amazon, let's say they're on slow weeks or months, not a whole lot of big, movies coming out that deserve multiple screens at once. Wouldn't be surprised if, this screen right now, you come chill out, hang for your next movie. We're just showing Twitch, rotating on what's on the main page.
That'd be cool.
Watch so and so play League of Legends.
How would that work though?
Watch so and so play Hearthstone.
We were talking about off air about 720p and 480p and all that.
I mean, if Amazon cared. Well, yeah, that's true. Because when you watch a movie, at the very least, it's in 2K. At the very least. If not, it's probably a 4K screen. Or 4K resolution being shown.
I'm sure they can figure it out. They have the money to figure it out.
And also, if it's just A-list, or I guess we're calling it Prime, Amazon Prime A-list, whatever, members can you just come in, you can just sit and watch. You can just sit and watch. We're not going to stop you. I don't know. I hate the fact that I think that that's cool that Amazon would own AMC, because I think AMC should be AMC. But
did you know, here, another fast fact for you. Did you know AMC's was founded in January 1st of 1920 in Kansas City, Missouri?
That does not surprise me. It does not surprise me. Actually, it does. I figured they would be around since maybe the 70s. So, but that's interesting.
Really old.
They survived Hitler.
And they can survive Jeff Bezos.
They have lasted longer than the Confederacy.
That is true, too.
Yeah.
That's true, too.
The Wii U lasted longer than Confederacy.
1920, man.
Avatar 2's development has lasted longer than the Confederacy.
Oh, my God.
Do you have anything to say?
I'm good. Do you want to just wrap it up with what we've been watching?
Yeah, and then we'll, I guess, revisit the book.
Shit, I forgot about that. When did we
Let me take some pictures.
Why have we made the show so much longer?
What chapter are we even on? Oh, I know. We're on chapter 5. Tell me what you've been watching.
All right. What have I been watching since the last time we recorded here? Well, I beat Final Fantasy VII. That's not... I mean...
As of 40 minutes ago.
40 minutes ago.
Remake.
Excited for Last of Us Part 2. I just watched something, now I'm blanking on it.
Have you watched anything on HBO Max?
I don't have HBO Max. I didn't get it. What did we watch on Netflix? Oh, I watched Jerry Seinfeld's stand-up special on Netflix.
Oh.
And I'm not a big stand-up guy. It does nothing. It doesn't click with me. I need some sort of usually substance. You know what I mean? Even though I have gone to stand-up before, and I find it much funnier, in a room of people who are also laughing. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird when you're just by yourself or with your partner and you're watching a guy who's just like doing his thing and like, should I laugh here? Like, that wasn't that funny. But everyone's like laughing in the audience in the recording, like hilariously, and I'm like, that wasn't that funny. I thought it was all right. He did have jokes.
First time in a while, right?
Yeah. He did do some jokes that I was surprised by in the way that, like, no offense to him, but he's old, and you'd think that like most of his jokes would be old, and most of them kind of were. But he did make jokes about like cell phones and stuff like that, like younger people could relate to, and I thought that was good. I just thought it was all right. There wasn't any like jokes that were like really stuck out to me, but it was a fun hour. Trying to think.
Did you see Dave Chappelle's mini stand-up?
I did
8
not.
minutes, 46 seconds.
I did not.
It was mostly not comedy. I don't really. This is me speculating here, because I think an event was held, and it was very much a social distancing event. Like, it was sprawled out, like physical space wise, and there was like a concert there, and he was gonna come out at the end and do like a mini stand-up thing, and it was mostly actually talking about Black Lives Matter, and that's why it's called 8 minutes 46 seconds, because that's how long. So there were brief moments of it being funny. He made fun of Candace Owens because she's a shithead, but it's funny that, you know, all the people that were like, all the conservatives that were like, Dave Chappelle said something liberals don't like, so now he's on our side, and he's basically saying no, fuck you again. So
yeah,
that's interesting. I watched that. It's on YouTube. It's like 20 minutes. So
I'm trying to remember. There's one other thing I watched, and I just can't for the life of me remember. It was like a.
Do you want me to go, and then maybe you'll think about it?
Yeah, you go.
So I only watched one thing since last time we spoke. I've been going through my HBO Max, you know, exploration, my journey through HBO Max. I made this gigantic watch list. I'm like, I'm gonna only watch, things on here, and take them off the list, one by one by one. Last time I mentioned that I watched a few Studio Ghibli movies. I watched one more. It's the only thing I really watched since then. A classic movie called Kiki's Delivery Service. It is I would say Totoro is probably their most famous, but then like the few following that, including Kiki's Delivery Service, are like, I guess, their golden era of like, that's their most famous. You know, Spirited Away I think is like right after it or something.
Yeah, I like Spirited Away.
Haven't seen it. And Kiki's Delivery Service was very good. We moved away from Hayao Miyazaki telling stories about like coming to terms with nature, and we don't need to have the entire planet under our control and stuff. And it was a movie that seemed like just a fantasy growing up kind of story, and then turns into when you're really good at something, and then I guess you would call it the magic runs out. You're not good anymore at doing your thing. You just lose your inspiration. You're just
Lightning McQueen.
You know, I guess, and you know, the artist just doesn't have what it takes. They just can't paint anymore. Or, you know, it's that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, this is a very personal story at the end. So it was cute. The only Hollywood actor that I recognized on the IMDb list was I assume very young at the time, because she's playing a young girl who I think was like 13, who played Kiki. And I'm forgetting her name, and it's hard to pronounce, but Mary Jane from the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans. What's her name?
Oh, yeah. Crap.
She has a name that you could pronounce either way, and no one's sure which way is correct. People know who she is, but yeah. And it's weird, because I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, with all these Studio Ghiblis, I'm like, oh, I want to know who's in it, because if we got Sir Patrick Stewart in the first one and Mark Hamill in the second one, Uma Thurman was in one of them, I want to know who was in it. So like maybe 10 minutes in, 15 minutes in, I look up on IMDb, I'm like, oh, it's her? Now I can't not freaking hear her voice from Spider-Man, just to be a little bit younger. Tiger. Basically, yeah. So
Peter.
That's what I watched. I watched the PlayStation 5 reveal.
Oh,
we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, I
but
watched that twice.
that inspired me to go back and play a bunch of PlayStation exclusives that I missed out on PS4. So I've been going through Ratchet and Clank just to platinum it. I'm gonna do Medieval, which
my girlfriend's brother did when he stayed over our place for a while. Got me a bunch of trophies.
It's a short game.
Yeah.
It's a short game. So I beat it twice already for trophies. I need to do it one more time. But I'm going to play Medieval, which you graciously lent to me, even though I haven't yet started
I want to know
it.
your thoughts are, because I think we did talk about it on here a while back. How it just feels like a PS2 game. It looks neat, but it just mechanically just feels like I've played a billion of these, and it's just But your drive
after that, I'm probably
going
to do. I'm probably going to do Bloodborne after Medieval.
Dude, if you're going to try Bloodborne, I might try Bloodborne with you, because I do have it on PlayStation.
Because
I'm scared.
And I'm not going to end up doing what I'm about to say, because there's a lot of things that I think would be cool to do, but they require a lot of commitment. And it's easy to be like, I'm going to watch a whole bunch of samurai movies for this podcast and then watch 0 of them. But when I saw the PlayStation 5 thing, the reveal, like full roundhouse thing, maybe a month before that, they announced, hey, we renamed Sony Interactive Entertainments, our collective studios we called Worldwide Studios. Now they're PlayStation Studios. So every single one of these games is going to start with the same kind of intro. All of the trailers say PlayStation Studios. PlayStation 5 game showcase showed 9 of them. 9 of these games. And I feel like almost all of them, I'm like, I would actually play that and I would buy that, like day one, for most of them. It's kind of funny, everyone talking about that Sackboy game being like, oh, it's just like Super Mario 3D World. And that's great. I'm like, to be honest, that's probably the most overrated Mario game. So I don't really find that game all that interesting. But I'm like, I'm going to play.
They need to have more family games. I think they
for
showed
sure
that.
Yeah, I mean, I forget who it was, but so PSX. See, that was tangent upon tangent. But PSX used to happen every year. PlayStation Experience in December, right? And for the first, all of them except the last one, they had like a showcase, a presentation, a stage conference, and they showed off games, deep dives. We got a Death Stranding deep dive in there. That's how The Last of Us Part 2 got revealed at PlayStation Experience. Uncharted Lost Legacy was revealed at PlayStation Experience, right? And for all of those years except the first one, people were kind of disappointed. It wasn't like, a big pop-off E3. E3 2015 for Sony was Final Fantasy VII Remake, The Last Guardian's coming back, there's Shenmue 3, there's this, there's that. It was like huge pop-off, but then PlayStation Experience is like, well, there was a game I liked, and I forget who it was, but there was an executive at PlayStation that said, the goal of these is to make sure that there's a game that at least attracts the attention of someone.
Yeah.
When you watch this, there's a game for you. This PlayStation 5 game showcase had several games for everyone. I feel like, you could be like, oh, I'm a kid, whatever, or like you're a parent's like, oh, I want kids game. They're gonna see Sackboy. They're gonna see Astro Bot, which is included in the PS5, so I guess that doesn't really count. But then also Ratchet and Clank, and then I guess Spider-Man, and then there's like, oh well, I like Gran Turismo, but
it's like a. Like I probably would have played that.
Spider-Man obviously appeals to children.
Yeah,
nothing about Spider-Man is like, I'm gonna rip your head off and then do it.
Cool, though.
So, I saw that. I'm like, I'm gonna actually make an effort, because now they have a branding in place to really point out that yes, this is a PlayStation game, a PlayStation Studios game. Because I remember the PS3 years where there was a lot of quote unquote first party games. But some of them were actually just kind of promotions and deals, and they weren't really had anything to do with PlayStation, so it doesn't really feel like, when everyone's like, oh, I like Nintendo games, you know what a Nintendo game is.
Yeah.
You know. And even when it's like, oh, Level 5, or not Level 5, Next Level, I think, a Canadian studio, they're a second party. They're not owned by Nintendo, but they only make games for Nintendo. So they make Punch-Out, they made Luigi's Mansion 3, like, they count. You know that they count, right? But like, does PlayStation Move Heroes on PS3 count? because that wasn't made by anyone. Like with PlayStation Studios branding, it's really easy to see this is a PlayStation like company game. This is a PlayStation company game. So I'm going to make an effort of playing all of those. Maybe I buy them years later or whatever. I'm going to make an effort of doing it. So I actually am going to try to sit down now and knock out a bucket list of like, yes, before the new Ratchet & Clank comes out, I want to beat this one. Before Demon's Souls comes out, because I'm super interested in that. I played it on PS3 back in the day and could not get into it. I want to do Bloodborne first. Gran Turismo 7, I'll be that on day one because I love Gran Turismo.
I think I had one on PS2 a while back, Gran Turismo. So
3 and 4 were on PS2 and they were great.
I was going to say, I think it was 4.
The last few good ones.
I'm definitely interested in it. It looks freaking like beautiful. So
I remember 4 let you import your 3 save, and it just gave you a shit ton of money based off how many like S ranks or A ranks you did on certain races.
I'm assuming
here's a whole bunch of money.
Like, online multiplayer, so like maybe we could.
So the last
we can race
one,
each other.
Well, yeah, the last one was GT Sport, Gran Turismo Sport, which people refer to as 7, but they can't call it 7 now because 6 was like a swan song PS3 game that came out in like December of 2013 after the PS4 came out. It was like why is this not a PS4 game? But they wanted to God of War 2 it, right? Make a game that's like this is the last big game on PS3 from us, like how God of War 2 was for PS2, right? Because it looked like, this kind of looks like it could be a PS3 game, but it wasn't. It was like, PS2. But GT Sport was the only Gran Turismo game on PS4, unless for some reason GT7 comes back on PS4, I don't know. But that game's whole shtick was we have FIA, not FIFA, but FIA. I don't know what it stands for, but the actual like kind of F1 racing scene, like the actual organization, major worldwide racing organization implemented into this. We have all the sponsorships in there. Obviously, Gran Turismo, like Forza, wants to have all the manufacturers in there, so it's not just knockoff cars. It's actual. This is what the Audi blank blank car actually looks like inside and out, and you can drive in it. It feels exactly like it, right? That game's whole shtick was that you pretty much needed online multiplayer because you were always being compared to and against other people based off of how that entire organization kind of handles their races and stuff. Like it was really based off of that online functionality. Mm-hmm. So it'd be interesting to see if GT7 is like this work, because I've seen people that are big racing game fans on Twitter, because the game briefly showed like menus and stuff, being like, this is like old school GT before they got stupid with Gran Turismo 5 and 6 and Sport. Like this looks like 3 and 4 again, like the good ones, like that ones everyone loved. So it'd be interesting to see if they're like, yes, we got it correct. Because that dude, I forget his name, but the director of it, he was in the PlayStation 5 thing when he talked about Gran Turismo. He was like, this is going to be a game that appeals to fans of Gran Turismo of old. And he's been working on those games forever, for years and years. And he's like friends with like all of the giant major like company people in racing. So that's one of those series that's like, he's almost kind of like a Kojima in the sense that he's so fucking well connected that like the game has a different weight to it. Because it isn't there. Yes, you can have a bunch of people working in a game studio in Sweden, let's just say, like a CD Projekt Red or whatever, that like that are just major fans of something, and they're making a soccer game, or I should call it football, I guess. I feel like we should start doing that as a country, start calling it football. But like they can make an amazing game. But there is something about like, oh, this person is so well connected in the scene that it almost feels like it's more of a official product, I guess, if that makes sense. As fireworks are going off literally maybe 100 feet away from me. Less than that.
I was going to say, I'm like, it sounds like your cat.
Yeah, no,
usually.
So you've seen my place, right?
Yeah.
You've been there. You know how I have that basketball court basically right across from me?
Yeah.
This is right next to it, and they're shooting them straight up into the air.
Yeah, our neighbors were doing that too. It's a thing. I do remember now what I watched. they're
I gave you a long runway of thought there.
Yeah,
so
you're good because I did think of one that I remember that I actually watched another one. So I watched Shaft because that was on HBO, Netflix, I think. The newer one because we meant to see it in theaters, but then something came up or we saw something else, so I never got a chance to watch it. But we watched it because we just wanted something that was loose and not too serious or anything, I guess, the other night, and we watched it and it was all right. I do appreciate the fact that I can't remember if there was a white person in it, and like I don't know how, and I know it's kind of rare to think about it, but it is rare to see no white people in a Hollywood movie if you really think about it. Even Black Panther still had like a white dude who was helping them, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
In this movie, I think there was white people, but they were like thugs and they're bad guys.
I haven't seen it, but Wesley Snipes' Blade, was that like, did that have any good guy white people in it?
I haven't seen the Blade movie.
I don't think so.
Very long. Like I saw like the first one when I was like 10, and so I don't really remember. But so I watched that and it was all right. It was funny at moments and it had some cool fight scenes. Whatnot. Then I watched Uncut Gems finally.
Really?
With Adam Sandler there, and I wasn't the biggest Adam Sandler fan. Like to me, Adam Sandler is Grown Ups and Pixels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So unfortunately.
And like I had nothing like against the guy, like do what you do, I'm gonna get your money, whatever.
I mean, he is I think he was the highest paid actor.
I mean, so
for whatever recent year.
Yeah, so just like you can hate on him all you want, but at the end of the day,
he threatened to go back to that life if Uncut Gems didn't like get the recognition it deserved in his mind.
This movie was definitely different. I had like lower expectations, I guess, because of Adam Sandler, but he plays this. I think they're in New York. Plays this jewelry. He's like a boss of his jewelry shop there, and he's connected with all these people. Of course, some bad people and some good people, and it didn't all click to me. Like at first, I was like, it started off very chaotic. It was very quick, and like there was some weird angles they used and stuff. It just felt very different. I'm not saying it was bad, but like I was just very like
tense.
Yeah, I was tense, but also just taken aback. I was like, okay, what is going on? Like, this is moving so quickly right now. Like, Kevin Garnett's in it. I'm a Timberwolves fan, so that was cool. And he's in it at one point, he comes throughout the story here and there, but he's like loosely connected through all of it. But like he's in it, and then like it all happened so quickly, and I'm just like, what's happening? But then it slowed down. And it wasn't until like halfway through the movie that I'm like, wait, I actually love this, I think I actually really love this. And then it just goes back to being chaotic. But then like it started all clicking for me. Like I was like, oh, I don't want to spoil it because I think it is a movie you should definitely watch, because I would be curious to know what you think.
Yeah, it's on my list. I meant to go see it in theaters around Christmas time when I went to go visit family up in New York. I was actually going to go see that with family, but we just didn't. We saw a freaking Joker instead, I think.
It was on Netflix. But and then the ending I thought was good, and like it all made sense. Like it was like almost like it had like a loop element to it, like where like it started the way it ended, and I like that. I like
Lost.
Yes. I just like it. It all made sense in the end, and I think that's what it starts off a little weird, but then it all makes sense, and I do appreciate that. And I think you can definitely tell that they put a lot of thought into the plot and like the twists and the turns, and and you realize what kind of person he is, and but also the other people are, and I don't know. It is something that like makes you think, and I really liked it. Really liked it. So definitely, and I was at first skeptical about like watching it. I'm like, I don't know, like, I remember like sports fans being like, "Oh, Kevin Garnett's in it. It's his first like acting role," and like I'm like, is people just, no offense to him, but like you see,
nice,
yeah, like people just being nice, like, oh yeah, it's his first acting role, but is he going to be bad? And like I thought he did great, just being kind of himself, but yeah, everyone in it, I think, just had. There was so much more to it, and I don't want to go into spoilers because I do think you should definitely watch it. But I know I'm super late on it, but it is good. 2 thumbs up from Devin.
Yes. All right, Devin, are you ready?
I am.
Okay. At the end of every regular episode on the Sonic Movie Show, we like to walk through very slowly, apparently, as opposed to very fast, like a certain Blue Hedgehog, the Sonic the Hedgehog, the official movie novelization, chapter by chapter. So last week we did chapter 4, now we're doing chapter 5. This is supposed to be stupid.
It's like a bit that, like...
I don't even know why we've been continuing to do this, to be honest.
This is a bit that, like, we just committed to and didn't actually think of the logistics, the long-term effects.
16 chapters. Yeah.
But we're here now. Can't stop now.
So, as always, I am the narrator, and I guess sound effects, and Devin is all of the characters. And a reminder to you, Devin, sometimes when a character is thinking, it's just in italics, so you read that too.
Yep.
So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I forgot how the last chapter ended, but you know what? We saw the movie twice, so who cares? Chapter 5. Robotnik knew the odds of an event like that. He charted every possibility, run every statistic, crunched every number. He knew this was almost impossible. He was Robotnik. Knowing everything was his job. Now, if only those pinheads at the Pentagon would stand aside and let him do it. His mobile lab rumbled as he pulled off the highway and onto the grassy outfield near Ground Zero. Robotnik had been contracted 12 hours after the incident. 12 hours since an electrical shockwave exploded out of Podunk? That's weird.
Podunk?
Exploded out of Podunk Hills and caused chaos for over 800 miles. That's actually really big. The defense grid collapsed for 15 minutes. Electrical shortages reached from St. Louis to the Colorado Rockies.
St. Louis.
St.
You're
Louis,
mispronouncing all
sure.
the places.
I'm thinking Louisiana. Yeah.
St. Louis? It's French.
Yes, that is correct. 4 satellites in low Earth orbit burned out. And then 12... Jesus, Sonic, probably killed people.
So many people are dead at hospitals and stuff
hospitals,
around life support. Yeah.
And then 12 hours later, they finally called him in. The fools! Robotnik stepped off the armored vehicle and adjusted his horn-rimmed glasses in the midday sun. His mustache shone above his lip, not one hair out of place, and his red lab coat fluttered dramatically. He looked like a superior specimen by any classification. Now to show the yokels that he was.
Who's in charge here?
He barked as he strode across the baseball field with Agent Stone a step behind him.
That's me. I'm Major Bennington. Nope, wrong. I'm in charge.
Robotnik said, lifting a finger to the stubby-looking military man.
This is a Class 5 stellar electrical incident, a coding reserved for only the most unexplained phenomenon. And when a Class 5 event is registered and they don't turn over the command to G.I. Jerk, they call in someone with the brain power to operate more than a pop gun. And that would be you, mister?
Robotnik snapped his fingers. He was done with this half-wit. Agent Stone stepped up to complete the crude work of speaking to lesser minds.
Dr. Stone say it? Oh, Dr. Robotnik is the Defense Department's top engagement analyst.
Stone said in a clipped tone so beautiful it was almost mechanical.
Wait, oh boy. I have to click between. He has 5 PhDs, an IQ you couldn't count to, and control over drone technology, so revolutionary your grunts wouldn't touch it for 10 years. In a crisis incident such as this, all chains of command bend to his jurisdiction. Command bend to his jurisdiction. In short, Major, you're basic. Stand aside.
Wow, this is a lot meaner in the book than he was in the movie. Robotnik surveyed the baseball diamond as a quartet of lackeys rolled his control board. As a quartet of lackeys rolled his control board to his side. There was a deep rut dug around the baselines, and no sign of the explosion came from a single source. Intriguing. Somehow, Little Podunk Hills contained something that his past jobs, inciting rebellions in foreign countries and spying on every computer on the planet Earth. Jesus, he's involved in...
I like also how it says intriguing. Whose thought is that?
His?
Robotnik's? Okay.
Yeah.
I go ahead.
I just like the fact that he's probably the cause of some incursions in South America, according to this parenthesis. Some of his past jobs, blah, 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 did not. There was a real challenge here.
Agent Stone, I'm initiating a sweep sequence 10 miles in every direction shift vice.
Robotnik hacked away on his keyboards with reckless abandon, and his drones hummed to life. The whirring of their blades calmed his nerves and brought a crooked smile to his face. Machines were not like his buffoonish handlers in Washington. They did as they were told with precision and efficiency, and they didn't smell like sacks of sweaty meat.
Yes, scour every inch, my little botniks,
he said as miles of data scrolled across his glasses.
Leave no stone unturned. Ferret out our stinky-fingered attacker, so he can be punished with the sick little monkey.
Wait. He says.
Let me read that again.
Yeah, please.
Leave no stone unturned. Ferret out our sticky-fingered attacker, so he can be punished like a sick little monkey.
Okay, so ferret is being used as a verb. Ferret out our sticky-fingered attacker, so he can be punished like a sick little monkey. Interesting. The drones tore through the sky. Fireworks. Maybe that's the sound of them blowing up. The drones tore through the... God damn it. The drones tore through the sky and dove deep into the foliage of the surrounding forest. Their infrared scanners swept across rocks, leaves, and bramble. In minutes, they'd gone miles from ground zero and swung back again, with beeps and blurps transmitting every detail back to Robotnik's wild eyes. And then, in an instant, the needle jumped out of the haystack and poked him in the nose.
Agent Stone, do you see anything useful in this image?
Robotnik said, zooming in on a section of dirt no bigger than a square foot.
Nothing at all, sir. Of course you don't. You're only human.
Even his deadpanned yes man could not compete with the beauty of his botniks. Robotnik zoomed in on the faint outline of a footprint at the heart of the image and began twisting and warping it with his control board. In moments, a 3D image of a shoe was before him, and with a dramatic swipe of his hands, the shoe split apart, revealing a tiny paw, more complex than the forest creature's mark. The large flat pads perfect for running.
Is that what I think it is?
Asked the Major, again revealing the depths of his ignorance.
Wow, even the author is roasting this poor man. It's nothing that you could imagine,
Robotnik said.
I have determined the precise height, weight, and spine curvature of the creature that left this track. But my computer can't find a single match for it anywhere in Earth's animal kingdom. This power outage was no terrorist attack. This is something else. But worry not, my little dunces. Robotnik can track the source of this unclassified miscreant. Never seen that word before.
Miscreant.
Robotnik can't track the source of this unclassified miscreant.
It's weird that he talked about himself in the third person. Robotnik pressed the controls hard, and his drones rose in formation above his head and shot off into the distance toward a small cave on the outskirts of town. Dun, dun, dun. Chapter 6, to be continued.
All right.
As always,
that was a good warm-up for my Jim Carrey.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was a lot better than your John Marston.
All my other characters, I've watched enough Jim Carrey, and he's not like... He doesn't sound like every other American person, so it's a little easier for me.
Well, thanks for listening to the Sonic Movie Show, a show that you can listen to on podcast services such as iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Google Play, Stitcher, blah, 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 every Sunday on this exact podcast feed. If you like one of the other ones I mentioned, why don't you hop over there? Probably helps us our numbers, right? When you're done with that, why don't you go ahead and follow the show on Twitter, which can be followed there at Sonic Movie Show. I have been Ethan. I am on Twitter at Ethan Absolutely. Devin is on Twitter at CURSONA YouTube. And let us know what you think about AMC reopening. Are you going to be there on day one? Did you actually like hearing the Sonic chapter? I didn't, and I read it. Are you going to go see a movie on day one? Let us know. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye, girl. Bye. Bye, Felicia.
So it turns out that while editing this episode, AMC decided to, a day later, drop the bombshell that no, they are going to actually enforce a mask requirement policy. So I guess all of this talk was for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea. I think it's smart. It's not a political decision. It's a either you believe science or don't decision. And I think most people believe science, I hope. Yeah, this is the right call. I mean, I know we were thinking of going ourselves on the first day, or at least maybe the first weekend. And if no one else is wearing masks, I might feel a little uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie. You know what I mean? Public pressure works.
I mean, sometimes it is. And just like how apparently AMC likes to give us news all the time, you'll get another episode next Sunday. See ya.